Gold Room Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today I have Natalie Taylor in the studio. You planted the seed for the Hancock JV with Saudi Arabia.
I know. I was there at the right time for the right purposes, and that's how a lot of things have happened in my life. And road to fame was I got to help with the Sir Edmund Hillary's will before he passed.
So I really like this part of your story.
Went straight to Port Hedland.
Yep.
So it was snowing in London when I left, and it was summer when I landed in Port Hedland. So it literally went from the snow to the desert. Yeah, that gets me up and out of the bed and helping people.
What drives you personally?
But a big thing for me is seeing other people succeed.
Welcome back to the Gold Room Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today I have Natalie Taylor in the studio, Strategic Development Manager for your own business currently.
Yep.
Excellent. Nat, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. You have had an amazing time in the mining industry, haven't you? You've done so much. We always start every episode off with the life and the time, so please, let's kick it off there.
Well, for a Kiwi girl that grew up on the farm, had a very diverse upbringing where working on the farm, my father never said, this is a man's job, this is a female's job. So I was very open to roles that were outside of what you particularly class as a female's job back in the day.
Yep. What sort of farm was it?
It was a dairy farm up in the North Island.
Yep.
And
had you out at 4:30 in the morning, running the race, getting the cows in, pulling the tits?
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, cups on at 6.
Yep.
So, helped Dad with the farm work, but it was always by law from my mother that you couldn't start the farm work until you'd done the housework. So,
ooh, wow.
Yeah, we had a mixture of both worlds, which was great. 'Cause that's kind of moulded to me where I am today.
Yep, beautiful. So early years, Nat, let's get into the early years. Obviously, farming, you didn't do that when you were meant to be at school, or maybe actually in New Zealand you might have done a little bit of that, skip school to help out on the farm. But what about brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so I've got one brother who's still in Dargaville working on the farm, and my sister, she works for Downers for their roadworks.
Okay, cool.
And schooling, worked to Dargaville High School. Teachers were amazing. They were actually wanting me to become a teacher. Unfortunately, I've disappointed them, but I'm sure they're happy to where I am today. Yeah,
for sure. So Dargaville High School and off to university?
No university. So
Didn't go to university?
No, I didn't finish high school. I didn't go to university. I went straight into law.
But surely a law degree requires you to attend university?
No, so I didn't actually fully practice law.
Okay.
I had to have lawyers look over my work.
Okay.
So I was lucky enough that I started off straight out of high school. Actually, at the end of my 7th year, I sent in my CV with the help of my teachers who helped me create a CV and did a referral letter first time. Thanks to my teachers, I got the job. I actually handed in my leaving school notice on I applied for the job on Wednesday, got an interview on Thursday, got told on Friday that I had the job and told my teachers, sorry, I'm leaving school, I've got a full-time job now. Packed up my bags, left my house for the first time, lived by myself in a rental flat in Auckland, all at the age of 17, and started working on the Monday.
Wow, bloody busy.
Yeah, so didn't really have to think about leaving home and having a cry about, I'm not with my mum anymore, she's not doing my washing anymore, and straight into it.
Awesome. So law before mining. Where did your time in law take you?
So my first 3 years was in intellectual property, working in trademarks, which was amazing. So I got to work with clients like New Zealand, Lion Nathan, and Zespri. And then I moved into another part of law, which was very diverse. So I worked in immigration, litigation, tax, conveyancing, commercial and family.
Right.
And my little throw to fame was I got to help with the Sir Edmund Hillary's will before he passed. Him and his wife came in and we redid their wills.
That right now, not obviously right now, but at home, next to my bed, is Sir Edmund Hillary's book. I'm reading his biography right now.
He's such an amazing person.
Yeah.
Lovely gentleman. His wife was lovely as well when they came in.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely a claim to fame.
Yes, yeah. And then I went back into intellectual property, working in patents, dabbled a little bit in regulatory pharmaceutical law, and then moved across into other areas. And then I got challenged by the partners to help an associate out at the time because unfortunately he wasn't passing the bar exam. And he had quite a lot of backlog with his clients with debt. So they said to me, we'll give you a year. Don't leave yet to go overseas, because I wanted to go to London.
Do an OE.
Yeah. And they said, if you get his debt down to at least 30 grand, because I think at the time it was around 90 to 100, and you help him to pass the bar exam, we'll give you a bonus. Challenge accepted. I did it.
His own personal debt, or
No, so he wasn't billing his clients in time, so it was just backlog of bills that needed to be done, summaries of the work that he had done. He hadn't actually done it for his secretaries to type up. So, yeah, it was just catch up.
okay.
Yeah, so I did it. I got the challenge, I accepted it, and we succeeded, and he passed the bar exam.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was able to focus on what he was there to do.
Yeah. And then after that, went to London.
How was that?
It was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah.
What'd you do over there?
So I worked in pharmaceutical law, working for the top 3.
Not your traditional OE bloody work, sitting pouring pints behind a bar?
No.
Okay, cool.
Because I was lucky enough to get recommended from the law firm in Auckland, I got transferred over to a prestigious law firm in London, Bristow's.
Oh.
Yeah, and my boss, she was amazing. It was quite funny, though, when I was doing the interview, because her first language isn't English, it's actually Spanish. It was quite difficult sometimes for her to understand me, because people don't think we do. Well, Kiwis don't think we do, but we have quite a strong accent. So when we're talking...
It's actually, now I don't know if you know this, but it's supposedly one of the hottest languages, hottest accents in the world.
Really?
Supposedly, I've read it online so many times. I'm going to get Dimitri. No one's going to believe me,
Yeah.
but I've seen it so many times. Hottest accent in the world, Kiwis.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Wouldn't have thought so either. I definitely wouldn't have thought so. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
No, so having that interview was quite a challenge, but we got there in the end, because she had one of her associates in the room who was helping to kind of get in the middle of the language barrier and help tell her what I was saying. But when I got over there, she was amazing. She helped support me. She's still one of the highest prestigious listed litigation lawyers in pharmaceutical law. She does a lot of presenting around Europe, and she's also admitted to the New York bar, so she goes to America quite a lot.
Wow.
So that helped me to try and kind of open my eyes to what you can do outside of your own little box, because when I used to work, it'd be like, well, I'm just focusing on the area that I'm working in rather than looking in the outside. Whereas she was working all over the world. She had 3 kids at home as well, so she was able to balance. It was great.
Wow, it's amazing. So you would have learned a heap from her.
Yes, yeah, I did.
Let's get into mining. So I really like this part of your story. So you flew from London to where?
Well, I did go via New Zealand, but I went straight to Port Hedland.
Yep.
So it was snowing in London when I left, and it was summer when I landed in Port Hedland. So it literally went from the snow to the desert. And yeah, it was a shock.
First thoughts of Port Hedland?
Holy crap, what have I done?
The heat? Was it the heat?
Yeah, the heat, the flies, the dust. Yeah.
Working. And so you were not alone when you got to Port Hedland. Your family was already there?
Yes. So my parents, whilst I was living in London, because of obviously how the market was going in New Zealand, my parents being share milkers as well, wasn't really going well. And my parents had a tourism business, so tourism wasn't going well either. So they needed to...
What year was this that you came back from London to Port Hedland?
In the 2010, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So my parents, they said, well, we need somewhere to go. We need to make some money, make ends meet. We're not surviving over here. Well, barely surviving. And they had friends living in Port Hedland. And they said, well, they're supposed to be having a mining boom. And so they went over and they said, all right, we'll give it 10 years and see if we can actually get some money and make a little nest egg and go home. And they did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most stories that I hear is Kiwis come here and they realise that it's beautiful blue sky and if you're a hard worker, if you want to get in and get your hands dirty, you can make some good coin. You can buy a house. You used to be able to buy a house. Buying a house in Western Australia or Australia at the moment
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. So 2010, your family's here, you've arrived. What did you do? Obviously not law.
No, but I thought, well, I need to do something because I don't like living off my parents. And it was the first time actually moving back in with them since I'd left high school. So I started off as a bartender at the Port Hedland Yacht Club. And
It's wild. It's wild for me that you went all the way to London, you were doing law over there. Most people would go and do an OE, pouring pints, and then you come back and
I
do
know.
it in Australia.
Well, it was kind of still overseas for me because I hadn't
Yeah,
been
for sure.
living in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was pouring pints at the Port Hedland Yacht Club. And some friends of my parents said, well, we're actually looking for a technician or coordinator. Would she be interested? Because I'd kind of done a little bit of IT before in the law firm where I had to write a manual about their systems because I didn't have a manual for it and they needed for newbies coming on board. So I said to them, I'll give it a try. I've never done it before. Let's see how we go. I said, what does it entail though? And they said, well, it's just journeying the plans of where we have to build and sell and fix copiers and computers. I said, okay. And as time went on, I said to them, well, can you teach me how to build a computer or a copier, help you fix some of them so I can learn what you're doing? So they taught me as I went. So it was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So IT, who were you working for?
PBE. So they're not around anymore.
Okay.
They have left. But, yeah, they were really Helen and John Kingdom.
Okay, awesome. From there, from your IT, from a little dip in your toes in IT, where'd you go after that?
Well, a friend of mine was working at Veolia, and
yeah.
Veolia were based at BHP as their day crew and obviously
Clean-up crew.
Yeah, shutdown crew. So he said, they're looking for some day crew operators. Would you be interested? And I said, okay, I don't know what it entails, but I'll give it a crack. So,
Seems to be a trend here.
Yeah, well,
give it a go, give it a go, give it a go. Keep saying yes.
Yeah, well, my father and the family always said, give it a go and give it a good go and don't say no to anything. And if you can say to yourself that you actually gave it a go and you still don't like it, at least you gave it a try. Yeah, so I did and I loved it. I stayed there for quite a while and worked at BHP's Nelson Point site mainly, doing day crew.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that was your early roles, obviously.
Yeah.
From day crew, cleanup, Veolia at BHP, then on to where?
So BHP had a role as a safety facilitator, behavioural-based safety facilitator, and I was helping with the program at the time for Veolia as their representative. And they said, "Well, would you consider coming across to BHP to work for us?" So
BHP poached you, didn't they?
Yes, they did. But I wanted to do FIFO because I'd heard so much about Perth and I wanted to see what it was like. So I tried to do FIFO with this role, but unfortunately couldn't. So I ended up...
Well, they said, BHP said no to FIFO?
Because they needed someone local.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that's when most of their residents were local that were working for the Nelson Point and Finucane Island side, which was understandable. So I thought I had a role lined up in Perth. Unfortunately, it fell through. So I already left BHP and I started working at a spray paint place in Wedgefield and UPC. And they did all the spray painting, obviously, for the safety rails and whatnot around the plant. And then I left there and finally got a job doing FIFO up to Newcrest as a training coordinator.
Awesome. Do you love that?
Yeah.
You've bounced around a number of roles. What's been your favourite?
I can't put my finger on a favourite.
Okay.
Maybe the one at Roy Hill when I eventually got there because of the fact that it entailed all my roles and all my knowledge to actually help it run.
Beautiful. Let's get into that. Roy Hill, what a company. Auntie Gina.
Yes.
You enjoy it there?
I love it.
Okay,
and
cool.
I still promote it because, it's got very great memories from Roy Hill and they did a lot to help me to get to where I am today as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Tell me all about it.
So I started off as a port operator, did that for 2 years.
What does a port operator do?
So you run around the plant, you make sure it runs smoothly, there's no faults, you fix the faults if they've got some, you help the maintenance crews out just to keep an eye on the equipment. If there's anything sounding funny or not working properly, then obviously raise the alarm.
Yep.
Also with the train crews coming through, dumping the ore, making sure they're okay, and then the ships coming in as well, that you make everything secure and everything safe.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's great.
So you have a team working under you?
No, but I had a great team working with me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. When they're looking for newbies coming into mining, would that be a good role for a new person coming into mining?
Yeah, and...
Or is it a little bit more technical where you have to have, that 5 years of experience?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously depending on the crew and what the company is looking for. If they need someone experienced because they don't have an experienced crew, then they would look for someone with experience. If they don't need someone with experience, then they look for someone that's green. And it's great. I mean, I used to say to people, I get to hose the crap out of a piece of equipment by myself in the sun, looking at the ocean, loving life, and getting paid whale money.
Okay. Look, sounds great.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I've done some horrible jobs in mining,
Yeah.
So jumping on a hose, and I do know this even, years after being a sparky, sometimes it's just quite relaxing, hosing slurry.
Yeah.
Hosing slurry down, cutting a little channel, cutting another one, and watching it all go. Might sound boring to some people, but shit, can be a little bit relaxing.
Yes, no, it's very relaxing. Until the day that the water gets cut off at your camp.
That's not great.
Yeah.
I've been on a camp where that's happened.
Yeah.
2 days, rain coming down, can't get the water trucks out.
Yeah, and it was when we had just before a shutdown, and me and another operator got covered in mud from head to toe. Lucky enough, Mum and Dad pulled me out of that one because they were still living in Port Hedland. Got to use their shower.
Lucky.
So I was the only clean one in the whole camp.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What else did you do at Roy Hill?
You
worked your way up there too, didn't you?
I did.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough that their fireys, obviously they have volunteer firefighters on site, your ERT team. So I applied and I trained with the crew. And at the end of it, they said to me, well, we've got a couple of positions coming up. Would you be keen on coming across? So I applied for it and they said, well, you've got the job. And then I got a phone call to say, hang on, you need to hold off. We want you to apply for another job. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Because they had a consultant coming around site and he was talking about this role he was talking about the program where employees get to spend 2 extra days, paid days from Mrs. Reinhardt, who's willing to pay 2 extra pay days per employee to go out and trial another role. Whatever they wanted, they could trial it, obviously within reason. They need to make sure that everything was safe, whatnot. And I thought this was an amazing opportunity that people could try something and not have to commit to it and then realise that they don't want to do it. They could actually go and try it and then go, okay. And each year she would do this. So I was promoting it because some of the rail boys were sitting down at dinner one night and they were like, oh, this is just another one of those things. They just want to throw money at us, but they don't actually explain what it is. It's just a waste of time, waste of money. And I said to them, actually, it's not. This is what they're wanting to do. This is what they're trying to do. And this is how it's going to work. And so when the consultant came back up to talk to them again and their attitude had changed towards it, he goes, what changed? And they said, oh, Nat had a chat to us. And so he goes, okay. And so he said, can I have your CV? So I gave him my CV. And when he saw my background and how diverse it was, he goes, well, you can actually talk to the boys on the ground and the girls on the ground. Plus you can also talk to them in corporate and they can understand what you can understand what they want and you can understand their mindset, what they need.
Awesome.
So I got offered the job as career enrichment officer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Advisor. Yeah.
And so did that role there, was that still Port Hedland based or did that enable you to FIFO?
Yes, so it was Perth based.
Awesome.
So fortunately lost my FIFO salary, but
Oh, right. Okay.
but it was great. I mean, I got looked after. I got to be at home more.
What did you think about changing the orange and blue or yellow and blue for a bit more of a upmarket corporate attire?
Well, I actually got told by the CEO at the time, Barry Fitzgerald, that I needed to change my work clothes because I had too much mud on them. So I had to kind of blend in with the corporate world, which I thought was quite funny, but it was good.
Did they give you any money for a new wardrobe upgrade?
Yes.
Oh, they did?
Well, no, you have your own little wardrobe because I was going to site more often anyway.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't really in Perth because I worked at Jimbata and at Port Hedland, so it was great.
You were also the WA Mining Club president.
Yes.
For 2 years. That's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
So was this, obviously this is after your role at with Mrs. Reinhardt?
No, it was during.
Was it?
Yeah. So
How did you manage all of that as well as being the president of the WA Mining Club?
I only got to manage it because I had a great team, the Roy Hill team, and a great CEO, Barry Fitzgerald, and then Gerhard Veldsman. Both of them supported me amazingly in that position. So Barry actually put me forward for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he knew there was a position on the committee. He posted it to the WA Mining Club's life member, Taylor Trober, and they approached me and said, would I be a part of the community? And I said, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's about. So I had a little bit of a read about it, and they invited me to St. Barb's Day, Barbara's Day, which they hold in December, the first Friday of every December, which Tad Wetruba actually invited them to start holding. And it was held at the Hyatt. I had mixed kind of thoughts and emotions about it when I first stepped into the room, but I sat down with Bernie Siddle, who's one of their life members, and he told me his story. He told me about the WA Mining Club, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah. I've sat down with Barry Upton, had a few bevies with Rob Humphreys a couple of weeks ago. He's a character. Obviously, Danny Tamati and Jordan is the new president.
She is.
An amazing team. Obviously, Tim as well. Sat down with Tim on the show. It's all WA Mining Club royalty right there.
It is.
So
yes.
Tell me about your role in those 2 years with the WA Mining Club. What did your role entail?
Well, I've been with them for, I think, 8 years now. So
I've been with them for 2.
So I started out with Kirsty Danby as the president at the time. I jumped onto their marketing subcommittee, and because I'd done a little bit of marketing, but not in that kind of scope. And because she owned a marketing company, she kind of guided me in that space as well to learn more about it, which was great. So I was learning as I was doing it. And just worked in other subcommittees as I was in the team, and finally got the confidence to put my hand up as vice president. And Damien Quayle, who was the president at the time, had to step down due to commitments at home and at work, and it kind of forced me into the president's role.
Wow. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. I know a lot of mining companies are just like push people up without any great training. You know, you got Cert 4 in leadership. Oh, look, there you go. Off you go. See what you can do. So what about standing up in front of bloody 500 odd people?
Yeah.
How'd you go there?
Well, my first kind of experience was with Winwa.
Yep.
Before I was part of the WA Mining Club, but I hadn't actually spoke in front of the WA Mining Club community. And that was daunting because it was at the Crown, and there was around 1,500 to 2,000 people attending that conference. And I spoke about my journey and how I was a driller's offsider. And
you missed that out on here, but thanks very much. Give everyone else the bloody scoop.
Yeah. So, no, but how that impacted me as a female as well, working in that space. And they absolutely loved it, but I was so nervous. And because I've always been taught, and whenever I've spoken in front of people, I've always been taught that other people are the same and they're nervous as well. But if you don't speak up, who's going to speak up?
I like that.
Yeah.
I always just say everyone is just another bare bum in the shower. You know, like it's true. Everyone's looking the same. Everyone's got those same fears. Maybe not fears, but like a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
Maybe not even anxiety, but worries.
Yeah.
Everyone shares those same worries, and not everyone's going to tell you that how they feel exactly. But I don't mind standing up and talking to any sort of size crowd. Maybe 3,000 might be a little bit too many. But I think you just get lost, wouldn't you?
No. No.
You're looking around it and noticing all those different faces all peering up at you.
Yes, especially when you do it consistently at a WA Mining Club event. You learn to, I know all the faces now, so I can't actually hide if I stuff up. And they hold me accountable.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Everyone should be held accountable.
It's a great family, and they're there to support you as well, and that's what I always had in the back of my mind. And what really brought me back down to earth one day was Tim McMillan.
Yep.
And obviously he's a news reporter, and he's very professional and he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
But one day he stood up and he was reading out that the car had left their lights on and the alarm was going off downstairs. But as he was reading it, he realised that the rego was his. So when he went to go back and read his speech notes, he stuffed up. And when I hit him up about it, because I was having a little chuckle, it's like, what happened? And he goes, we're all human. So it kind of brought it back to me going, well, if he can stuff up and he's this big-time news reporter, then yes, we are all human. If I make a mistake sometimes or I need to pull it back in, we all learn.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what it's all about. Leadership lessons. So leadership lessons across your amazing career, like leadership lessons that you would have had looking after, babysitting that bloke so he could pass his bar exam, all the way through Roy Hill or to the WA Mining Club.
I've had lots.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Any standout?
well, for me, my very first one was my grandmother.
Yep.
Amazing woman. Unfortunately, obviously, I didn't meet my grandfather because he passed away when my father was 21. But just for her to be a pillar of strength and to be kind of our matriarch, she pulled everyone together. We always had family functions, and they were all because Grandma would organise it. Grandma would pull us all together as a family. So, and she was the one that kind of instilled, don't give up, keep trying, be respectful to those around you. And it was funny because when I first started in my first job, I would walk up to my colleagues, and if they were older than me, I was expected to say Mr. or Mrs. But they pulled me up and said, you actually make us feel really old. Can you just call us Susan or Peter instead of calling us Mr. or Mrs.? And that was something that I had to work through because obviously my grandmother brought me up in that way.
I noticed that when you're referring to Gina Reinhardt,
Mrs.
Reinhardt or Chairman
Yes.
Reinhardt. That was the other one. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, there's some respect there.
Yeah.
Because everyone else out on the floor is behind her back, obviously, is calling her Auntie Gina.
Yes, they are. But no, I have a lot of respect for Mrs. Reinhardt because, again, the opportunities that I got at Roy Hill and just the guidance that I know came from her through what happened at Roy Hill, people don't realise just how much she does and how much she gives back to the community, and it's not shown on the news. She doesn't try to get recognition for it. She just does it. And it's like, that's an amazing person that I'm just in awe of because of the fact that she gives so much. She doesn't expect anything.
I have a mate who works up there as a driller and on one of her sites, and he was telling me that every year she gives away $1 million in $100,000 increments to 10 staff.
Yeah.
Just go everybody who works for her their name goes into a raffle. Names are pulled out. There you go. There's $100,000. Imagine $100,000 to put on your mortgage.
Yep.
Imagine if your mortgage was already paid and you were taking your family on a awesome little jaunt around the world somewhere. That's amazing.
Yeah.
There are not too many companies at all in Australia that are doing that. So she's obviously, she's supportive of her supportive of her team. She knows that things like that. That's what's keeping people around, right?
But it's not just her Roy Hill team, well, her Hancock team. Obviously now we've amalgamated.
Yep.
But it's also the contractors as well. Yeah. So when I first started doing my FIFO position up to Jimbada, and it was Easter time, she actually flew a plane of Lindt chocolate rabbits up, not just for the staff, but for the contractors as well, to say thanks for working on Easter. No one asked her to. No one expected it. We just got, because it was funny, I was in the office at the time and all the admin were abuzz and they're like, oh, no, we've got to get everything ready. She's coming. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, Mrs. Reinhardt, she's flown in. She's got all these chocolate rabbits. We've got to stick them all out. But that was her. That's what she does. And then obviously when I've had my child at St. John of God in Subiaco, I got a little gift package and it's from Mrs. Reinhardt.
That's amazing.
Little nicks and little presents in that for the first-time mums or for the mums that go in there to have their children.
That's amazing.
No one hears about that on the news.
Nah, that's what they should be saying. Mm. They always want to say, well, she took $15 million off the netball team and she wanted to do this, but anyway, I don't want to get into that because
that's the news for you, though.
They deserved it, Right, collaboration in mining, which is pretty much driving to what you're doing now. Mm-hmm. How important is collaboration?
Oh, it's really important. I mean, when you sit down and you're talking to someone and you build that trust and then you start talking about what you want and what you're trying to drive for and then someone else has got something that can contribute to it, it's a no-brainer to work with each other. Mm. And I've been lucky enough that when I was working at Roy Hill, that I was able to experience some big-time collaborations that have now fruitioned into multi-million-dollar
Are we allowed to talk about that? Can we talk a little bit about it? Can I?
We can.
Okay. Because I've been following it in the news.
Yes.
And to know that you planted the seed for the Hancock JV with Saudi Arabia.
I know.
That's amazing.
And
What a collaboration.
Yeah, and everyone. Well, for me, I always think, well, I was there at the right time, for the right purposes, and that's how a lot of things have happened in my life. And yeah, it just happened that the first time I ever went to IMARC in Sydney, the Saudi delegation went across in a big way, and out of that, obviously, I got a good contact who wanted to sit down and have a chat to the Hancock team about collaboration, and before that, though, we had a little chat about what they could bring to the table and what Mrs. Reinhardt might be looking at. And at the time, I knew Mrs. Reinhardt was looking for a green steel mill or for investment into her magnetite mine, but it wasn't really sure on what it might look like. But I thought, well, it's a great opportunity. Saudi's supposed to be kicking it off. And my only reservation was obviously around female workers within Saudi Arabia, because we all know obviously what's happened. But we were reassured that they're working on it. They're making better progress in that space. And so I was a bit more confident in putting that forward to the team. So I made the meet and greet happen.
That's amazing.
And then a couple of years later, we now see that
Here
they've
we
done
are.
a joint venture with
Right
Maiden.
now.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, well done. Congratulations. Because, I mean, look, even you started that.
Yes.
Oh, look, there was a team involved.
Yes.
Involved for sure.
Yeah.
And, someone else closed the deal, but you opened that door.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have known about it unless I actually heard from it in London that Mrs. Reinhardt had been working on it. So it was very exciting for me.
Is that when you went to the ball?
Yes, to
Or
the gala dinner.
Let's get into seeing the industry from different angles. So you started in obviously law. You would have seen how companies, what they're doing with governance, with ESG, and then obviously with recruitment. So with your experience in law, what do you think companies are doing right, and what could they be doing better?
It probably depends on where the company's at and what type of work they're doing or conducting, obviously to how the law fits in it and what they need to adhere to.
Do you mean like a small, like a junior exploration company versus the tier ones? Is that what you mean?
And exploration as well. So you need to make sure, obviously, right at the get-go that you've got all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, everything's all aligned. But then, obviously, when you get to the bigger steps, to the mid-tier, to the top tier, it gets a lot larger and it gets a lot bigger. So it just depends what your journey is and where you are in that space to what actually you require.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a bit of a hard question to answer because there's a lot of different angles that come at different places in your journey. So
yeah, for sure. What about your transition into Next Global Services, which is a recruitment company?
Yeah, so
a global recruitment company.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was lucky enough. I don't think many people would say they're lucky, but I was lucky enough to be made redundant from Roy Hill in 2024. Yes, 2024 in June, July. I was a little bit upset, obviously, because I'd been with him for so long and it'd been a massive part of my life. But on the other hand, I was really excited because I got to spend full time with my daughter. And not long after I got made redundant, I got offered a position where they wanted me to become their business developer and to help them promote their business. And I didn't know really what that entailed. Obviously, I'd been new to that area. And I said to them, well, what are your expectations from me? What do you want? And they said, well, with your network and with your vast knowledge, we just want you to help promote our business, but also they wanted me to speak at some of the seminars that they might hold to try and talk at some of their meetings. They told me about what their product was. And I'm lucky enough, obviously, because of my diverse background, I could because I'm a visualizer, I could visually see how that could be implemented into companies and how it would work and how it would benefit. If I can't see if it's going to benefit the industry, then I won't get behind it.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I could see how it could really benefit the industry and how it would bring it to that next level that it needed to be. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll give it a crack. Was lucky enough to go with them to IMARC again that year, and then also to London Resources Conference over there as well. And yeah, it just kind of spiraled from that, where I then got a lot of emails from other interested parties, one of them being Next Global. And what they do is they go to companies, and because we've got the skill shortage and we're still trying to upskill or skill our people within Australia, there's still that shortage in the meantime. So they're bringing across subject matter experts to come across and work in those spaces until we can actually upskill our people. And they're doing because I said to them, how strict is your recruiting screening? Because I said, obviously, you do so. I used to be a recruiter within Hancock, so there's so much you do for a local. How much do you do for an international? Because you've got to make sure that they're not lying about their CV, because they could have false records, they could have false police reports, anything. So they go through such a strict regime, and they do videos. They make sure they video and photograph their daily work life as well in different scenes and scenarios. So then when they send it to the client knows exactly what type of work they can do, what it looks like, and what type of environment they're used to working in. And they're finding that because these people are coming across from various countries, going into remote communities, they're actually stabilising themselves a little bit better than the local people going up FIFO, because then they know they're going into that environment and that's where they're going to work.
Yep. What roles are you predominantly recruiting for?
So it's all over the place. Mainly, obviously, for mining, it's in the HD fitter, boilermaker, tradesperson, service person, they've got engineers. They've also got, they did Harvey Beef, they did butchers from the UK recently.
Wow.
A bakery as well. They found that they needed some bakers that they didn't have within Western Australia, so they brought some across from, I think from Indonesia, somewhere from Asia, in that space.
Wow.
So, yeah, they do quite a diverse range of recruitment, but they mainly try and focus on mining.
You did briefly mention skills shortage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into that, like the skills shortage, the talent shortage, skills gap.
Yeah.
What do we need to be doing, and what roles do we need to be filling?
Well, they had a really great program, and I think they're still running it at Hancock, where they upskilled their current service people into those maintainer roles, and they take them through a TAFE course, but they've got a pathway for them.
Okay.
Because as I said before, when I was doing the career enrichment program, some people don't realise what they can do if they don't have the opportunity to try it. But the other thing as well is, with the WA Mining Club, we're doing it, but we're trying to promote what roles are available, because our children don't know what they don't know.
That's right.
They only know what they can see around them, and that's what their parents are doing. And not all parents in Western Australia are miners.
Yep.
And if they are miners, unfortunately, some of them don't talk about mining in a positive manner. So the children go, I don't want to do that because it's not fun and my parents don't like it, so why should I do it? So it's just starting from the beginning is obviously a key for us to get it into the education systems.
Yep.
So we're actually, and hopefully Cassandra won't tell me off for this, but we're going to look at doing a wide kind of collaboration between the mining club and other associations and
Core
mining
Learning Foundation.
Yeah, but also mining
Gold
companies.
Industry Group. Oh, okay. Excellent.
And maybe hopefully a couple of universities, but we're going to try and sit down and go, well, this is what we're aiming to do. This is what we want to try and accomplish. How can we work together to make this happen? And we want to try and do a workshop. She's going to tell me off for saying this out loud.
That's right. We'll ask her first. I was emailing her the other day.
Yeah.
So we'll ask her first, but I'm sure she'll be fine with it because it's a little bit of promotion, you know.
Yeah. But no, I think it would be a great idea, because when I stepped into the president's role, what my vision was to try and bring all the associations together. One, because I was hearing, oh, you're having an event, but we've got an event on the same day, or we're doing this and you're doing it now as well. We're going to be like challenging each other in that space. And we never wanted that to happen. Well, I didn't want that to happen. And I know the rest of the committee at the time felt the same, and they still do as well. We want to work with the rest of the clubs and the associations and the industry to see how we can actually step us up, because I want to put us on that platform where the world goes, they're the ones that we need to start following and to watch, and they're the programs that we need to start instilling into our countries to make them run smoother and more and a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that the other day, actually. I was sitting down and having a chat to a mate about the possibilities in Saudi Arabia. A mate of mine was saying it could be the next African mining boom.
It is. It is going to be.
Oh, I believe so, but
Yeah.
it's just a thought.
Yeah.
But I think, like how long until some of these drilling companies are just like, you know what, just start putting these drill rigs into a container and shipping them to Saudi Arabia, because that's the next big thing.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's exciting.
I think it's amazing. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And if we want to get to net zero, as everyone's trying to accomplish, we're not going to get there alone.
Need all the help and all the money.
Yes.
And Saudi Arabia's got some bloody dollary doos out there, don't they? Drilling oil, that's big old school oil money.
Yeah.
And to get into the critical minerals, there'd be a lot. I think there'd be a lot of West Australian and Australian companies scrambling now, thinking, shit, what are we going to do? How are we going to get involved in that? And I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for Australian businesses, but also great for international relationships. And I think international relationships, I don't like to talk about politics, but building and forming great international relationships is paramount right now.
Yes, it is.
A little bit of instability around the world, and
Yes.
companies and people working together will be fantastic. So, Nat, what drives you personally? Family?
Yes.
What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Yes, so family does, but a big thing for me is seeing other people succeed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
That's probably why I do this.
Yeah. No, I love seeing other people succeed, and I love especially what the beginning was, and still now, is seeing how I can influence and help coach females to step up into spaces where they felt before they couldn't necessarily step into or become a part of, and actually challenging them, and not challenging them, but helping support them to understand you can, with support, in this way. Maybe it's not the same way as I said before as a male doing a job, because it brings a different perspective. It is a different way of doing things. But yeah, that gets me up and out of the bed, and helping people. I get told off sometimes though that I help people too much and I don't look after myself, but it's what drives me. I love helping people.
I like that. Well, that final question is, what is the best advice that you've given out to someone or that you've received?
Never say no. Take the challenge and keep trying until you know you've done your best.
Shit, that's powerful. I like that. That's awesome. And I say this, there's always just these recurring trends here, and I get to sit here and listen to everybody's story and some of the greats that have been on here. If people go back through and listen through episodes, it's the same thing as, and mining is not for everybody. But I honestly believe with the adequate information and understanding that, it will be hard, but it's going to be different. Give it a go. I honestly believe we need more people in mining than ever before. We need more people going through the education system for those university-based roles, mining engineers, metallurgists, things like that. So, but you've got to say yes, and you've got to be open to it.
Yep.
And I think that's powerful. The saying yes thing for me is what I really like. I say yes all the time, especially when I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nat, thank you once again for coming in and spending the time with me. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, so we'll get you out of here. But once again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for tuning into another episode on the Gold Room Podcast. I hope you loved Nat's story. Absolutely phenomenal woman. Tune in next time for another episode. Thanks you.